All right. Welcome to Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. Of course, Monday night show. It is April the 13th, and I'm wearing a nose strip because my nose is busted, and I'm still training for the Super Spartan, which is actually this Saturday in Las Vegas. If you're going to be there, let me know. Hit me up. We'll hang out, grab a beer in Vegas sometime after the event. Otherwise, just wish me luck and ignore the big strip on my nose, which is hard to ignore because my face is on the fucking screen. So, all right, let's kick off the show real quick. Let's talk about our sponsors, people that help us out here. NatureBox, look, they're a snack company. If you don't know about NatureBox, you're fucking up. Get out some NatureBox. Actually, I believe they have some kind of offer where you can actually try their stuff out. I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while since I started. I've been using NatureBox for a while, so they're really good. So, yeah, NatureBox is the shit. Also, F3 Foods. If you have a hard time planning your own meals, F3 Foods does it for you, and it's actually it help you out and they help you lose weight. They have plans and all that you can use. Go to the Get Fit program. Let me make sure I got that right because I don't want to talk out of my ass. Yeah, it's thegetfitprogram.com and use CrossBones, CrossBones, all one word, at checkout for a discount. Also, Truxpin helps you get your testosterone up. You can work out harder, get some muscle tone in, and you know, possibly, hopefully, whoa, what the hell was that? And possibly, hopefully, probably, depending on how it works for you, help your lady, or help you treat your lady out in the bedroom, right? And of course, Amazon.com. You go to CrossBonesMMA.com. On there is a box for Amazon.com. If you shop through there, just regular stuff, the same, it works the same way. You don't have to pay anything extra. Nothing comes out of your pocket extra. It's the same as always. The only thing that happens is Amazon helps us out to keep the website up and the show's going. So, yeah, help us out. Shop through the little Amazon box on CrossBonesMMA.com. All right, that's it for the commercials because I hate commercials and I hate doing them. So let's get right to the show. Welcome to Bad Decisions with Eddie Law, presented by CrossBonesMMA.com and CrossBonesMMA Radio. My name is Eddie Law, and I am your host as we get to all the important current event issues in MMA today. Of course, it's an interactive show, so hit me up at EddieLaw31 or at CrossBonesMMA on Twitter. On today's show, we're going to recap UFC Krakow, Poland, whatever the fuck, however you say that shit. World Series of Fighting 20, Bellator 136. Wanderlei is being Wanderlei again. And Nate Diaz is like, hold up a second. And of course, a weekly rant. Let's get after it. All right, start off with Bellator 136, which went down last Friday in Irvine, California. I was actually supposed to be there, but I wasn't able to get away from Phoenix for that due to my training schedule. So I wasn't able to go, but I did get to see some of it on TV, of course. Yeah, let's talk about the important fight of the night, which is, of course, Will Brooks against Dave Jansen. From the get-go, it looked like Jansen was the more aggressive of the two, which he was, but it also seemed like he was going to be the guy who was going to tire out quickly because Jansen doesn't really have a killer gas tank, as far as everyone knows. And Will Brooks seemed that he was just laying back, letting him go ahead and just tire himself out, which is exactly what happened. And Brooks basically capitalized on that for the rest of the fight. Because he had more in the tank. Of course, Brooks wins his first title defense after winning the title from Michael Chandler not too long ago. The other fight I want to talk about on this card was the Joey Beltran against Brian Rogers fight, which turned out to be pretty crazy. That was a brawl. Beltran is known for just swinging wildly sometimes. He starts off trying to be technical and then just says, fuck it, throws it out the window and gets in there and gets crazy. So Rogers was using leg kicks in the first round pretty good. I thought he took the first round because of those leg kicks, but Beltran just kind of went Beltran in the second and the third round. No, he almost finished Rogers in the second after hitting him with a really nice right hand. So ended up going the distance. Beltran gets the nod, but it's one of those fights, as commentator Jimmy Smith said, it's one of those fights that you don't really want to. You hate to see end, and you hate to see anybody win it. You almost want to see a draw because it was that fun of a fight, really. And that's kind of all I saw on that. Well, I don't even want to talk about the Joe Schilling fight because I think Joe Schilling was robbed. I just do, but I'm a big Joe Schilling fan. Carvalho just kind of used, the ground and hump, and he got his way in the garbage decision, in my opinion. So that's that. I'm hoping. On a side note, Joe Schilling's talking shit. Not really Joe Schilling. Phil Baroni's talking shit, and Joe Schilling's responding. Go on Twitter. Just go to Joe Schilling's Twitter and follow the timeline. Okay, Phil Baroni's been talking crap about how he wants to fight Joe Schilling for some reason, and somehow Joe Schilling being busy because look, he fights for Glory kickboxing, and he fights for Bellator MMA. That's gonna keep you fucking busy. and he's booked for a long while. Phil Baroni called him a pussy because he's booked. Does that make sense to anybody? Has Phil Baroni take too many shots to the head? And then, of course, Joe Schilling says, hey, look, you got a shot. I got an opening on May something or other. And Phil Baroni's like, oh, man, I haven't even trained. I need some time to train. You can't give me 10 weeks to train, so you're a pussy. Get the fuck out of here, Phil. Come on, man. You can't talk shit and then say you need time to train. Like, come on, that whole thing just doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. And you know, if they fight, look, Joe Schilling's going to knock him the fuck out. I'm just saying. In my opinion, of course, and probably a lot of people's opinions. Anyway, let's move on. Talking World Series of Fighting 20, which went down the same night in Connecticut, I believe. David Branch won his fight at 205 via submission. Josh McElligott had no chance as Branch pretty much outclassed him on the feet and on the ground. He had nothing for Branch. Put him to sleep in the second round. Note, of course, Branch was supposed to fight Hani Marquez, but Hani pulled out due to dehydration. Yeah, well, that's gonna happen when you cut weight, Marquez. God, I've never even heard that dude's name be pronounced by anyone professional. So, anyway, another fight on that card was the Nick Newell fight. He defeated Joe Kondo by unanimous decision. Kondo really had nothing for him. Never really got any offense going, and Nick Newell uses striking to get the judges' approval. Probably in bad taste, but I'll say it anyway. Nick Newell's got one arm, and he beat the guy with two in the striking. Yeah. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. Of course, the World Series of Fighting debut of one Phoenix Jones, who was signed after the hype that he got for being an actual crime fighter in Seattle, Washington. If you've seen the video, he kicked the shit out of some dude. I'm not even sure what he did, but he just kicked the shit. You know, Phoenix Jones kicked the shit out of him, and for some reason, probably just the exposure in the promotion and in the press and all that Phoenix Jones got. World Series of Fighting signed him. Phoenix Jones had nothing. He had nothing. I think it was Emmanuel Walo, I think who fought him. Walo basically just beat the shit out of him. He grounded and pounded him. It was a lot. Walo's ground game is way too much for Phoenix Jones. Phoenix Jones is not ready for a big fight promotion. He's gonna have to go work on his defense because he had nothing. It just seemed maybe he was in shock. Maybe he was he had the jitters, the World Series of Fighting jitters, I guess is what you would call it. And yeah, he had nothing. So it's kind of sorry. That's kind of I don't know. It sucks to see Phoenix Jones, not live up to the hype, but that's what happens when you hype somebody up and they don't live up to it. So his stock is just plummeted badly. And of course, let's talk about UFC Krakow coming from Poland with an early card on Saturday. It was Saturday morning-ish. Pacific time, I guess, started at 8:45 as far as the prelims go. So, God, this looks like a flying here I need to kill. I'm so out of it. It was headlined by Mirko Cro Cop against Gabriel Gonzaga in a rematch 8 years in the making, of course, after obviously 8 years ago, Gonzaga head kicked Cro Cop. And, of course, the now famous and very overused, Cro Cop got Cro Cop, which Joe Rogan, says a lot in that promo. Let's go over the card. In fact, it's just starting in the bypass prelims, which of course was the whole card was fight pass. But in the prelims, we got Taylor Lapalus defeating Rocky Levy decision. Then Mars Chin Bandel loses to Stevie Ray via knockout or TKO in the second round. A lot of Stevie Ray fans for some reason. The name Stevie Ray. Your parents gave you two first names, dog. I would look into changing my last name. I'm just saying. Anyway, after that, the long-awaited UFC debut of one Alexandra Albu. If you've seen her pictures, god damn, she got some abs. She has abs for days. Abs, stomach muscle, abs. She is a physical specimen that makes no sense. I actually saw a video of her doing pull-ups, strict pull-ups with heavy-ass kettlebell tied to her waist. It was really weird, but she is strong as fuck. Anyway, she beats Isabella Badura, who actually had really good grappling. She had really good grappling overall. Her wrestling was pretty good, just always just at a higher level. Not much higher, but higher. After that, we had Daniel Anthony Hamilton was a decision win in a heavyweight fight, which usually means the fight kind of sucked, and it kind of did, to be honest with you. You expected a knockout out of Anthony Hamilton. Nothing happened. After that, Damian Stasiak loses to Yeltsin Meza via decision. Meza actually trains out in Glendale, Arizona, with one Benson Henderson, and Benson Henderson made the trip out to Poland for his buddy. So for a prelim fight, that makes Benson Henderson as a pretty damn good teammate. So good for him. All right. After that, we had Sergio Moraes defeating Michael Lebeau via decision, and then Bartoszewski Fabinski defeats Gareth McClellan via decision. And in the headliner for the prelims, look, dog, Seth Baczynski is an Apache Junction, Arizona product. I think he's been training out with Dominic Cruz in San Diego, I think is what it is, over at wow, I can't remember the name. Anyway, he's been training out with Dominic Cruz and his crew, and he got knocked out in 8 seconds. Kept his right hand down, ate a really nasty left from Leon Edwards, and got put to sleep. So that was a rough night for Mr. Baczynski, who now has lost 3 in a row, I believe, which usually means it's cutting time. All right, and on the main card, also on Fight Pass, Joanne Calderwood loses to Marina Moroz via submission in the first round via armbar. She got caught in the armbar, and instead of kind of squashing on top when you're supposed to do, or this is one of the defenses for an armbar, she stood straight up, and which straightened her arm, and Moroz actually used that stand up as leverage to get her to tap out. So JoJo Calderwood seemed really weird. She seemed like she was almost in shock or almost scared on the walk up, and when Bruce Buffer was calling out her name and all that. And I actually saw a statement from one Miss JoJo Calderwood, and I'll read it here because it kind of explains what was going on through her head. It says this, quote, "Really blown away by the support that I feel I don't deserve, especially after my performance, and from so many positive, amazing people. I want you guys to know the truth, and I tried my best not to give up. I didn't pull out of the fight because I felt it was the only thing I had to hold on to. Well, it has turned into my only purpose in life. I guess in life, sometimes it is okay to put your hands up and say you're not okay. I am my own worst enemy for this and think I can deal with anything as long as I can train and fight. But at the end of the day, I got in there and found out the hard way that I am not. I'm not going to make excuses. My training was as always the best, and I really gave everything as always, and my focus is only on the fight. As for my personal life, it has not been good. And to make matters worse, I had to deal with something that I am still in shock about the night before my fight. I don't know what's next, but I know everything could be a lot worse, and you shouldn't complain about life, especially when I'm doing what I love. I guess it's now just a case of finding the right people that are with me here at the bottom and get back to looking at the stars again." And she added a little quote there saying, quote, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars," end quote. So that's her reaction to her fight in Poland, her loss in Poland. You know what? I've been looking forward to JoJo Calderwood fighting for a long, long time. She's a fun Muay Thai striker. Didn't get to do that much. So on the other hand, Moroz looks like a killer. During the broadcast, they were calling her the Ronda Rousey, the 115 pounders, the strawweights. So that is possible, and her armbar is deadly. So we'll see Ms. Moroz a lot more, and I'm hoping Calderwood doesn't get cut because she's actually one of my favorite fighters in strawweight, but it's not looking good for her at all. Then again, it's not like the 115 division is so stacked. It's really not. So I don't think she'll get cut. Hope she doesn't, but you never know with what the UFC is thinking about. All right, moving on here on the card. Mr. Paul Pollack pulls off a decision win over Sheldon Westcott in a fight that wasn't that impressive in my opinion. And in the co-main event, Jimmy Manuel gets a decision win over Jan Blachowicz, which was it's pretty impressive because it turns out Manuel's knee was destroyed. There was multiple ligament tears, and he fought with it. It was like MCL tear, ACL tear. He fought with a destroyed knee, and he looked pretty good overall. So, all facts given, big win for Mr. Jimmy Manuel. And in the main event, Gonzaga against Mr. Mirko Cro Cop. Cro Cop, who was, by all accounts, getting his ass whipped in the first 2 rounds, comes back in the 3rd round, about 1:30 in, and TKOs Mr. Gonzaga. It was really weird. It was one of those things where he rocked Gonzaga and fell right into Gonzaga's guard, which is dumb because Gonzaga is a jiu-jitsu guy, and all he was going to do was supposed to do was control Mirko and just stall and wait and recover. However, Cro Cop had other ideas, landed some nasty elbows, which, by the way, Cro Cop before the fight was complaining, saying that elbows should not be allowed because of the cuts and all that, and he doesn't like blood. He says the fights are too bloody, which to me sounds like some bullshit Cro Cop was going to say in order to take away, or in order to make Gonzaga think he was going to use elbows. I'm not even sure, but it's funny that he won because of those elbows. He started laying some nasty ones. He cut Gonzaga really nasty. Go look at the pictures online. That's going to leave a really nasty scar on Gonzaga forever. And it was actually ended up being a pretty classic fight. First 2 rounds. It actually was the only solid good fight in the card, in my opinion. Because the Leon Edwards-Bogzinski fight only lasted 8 seconds. So this is a really fun fight. And good for Mirko. But he's 40 years old. How long can he do it, you know? And for Gonzaga, now he's got a losing streak. What do you do with him? So, again, the heavyweight division not very, very stacked. I don't think they'll cut him. But again, at some point, you got to let some of these guys go and bring in some new blood. But where from? Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how the UFC scouting department works. But no, I'm sure there's heavyweights. There's 8 billion people in the world, man. Go find somebody. So, yeah. That was that card there. Now let's talk about Mr. Wanderlei Silva, who is, by all accounts, losing his mind little by little. And this is something I read off of MMAfighting.com. I believe he gave him an exclusive interview, I think. So here's what he says. Apparently, he's really upset at the UFC and Dana White, and he won't even say their names or anything, but he will go off and say a bunch of shit. So as we all know, Wanderlei Silva was suspended for life by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for skipping out on a drug test, which is horrible. It's worse than testing positive, clearly. Because Chael Sonnen tested positive for everything. He only got banned for 2 years. Wanderlei Silva for life for running. So don't run from a drug test. However, this is Mr. Wanderlei Silva's opinion on this. Quote, and again, this is from with the MMAfighting.com. He says, quote, "If I'm going to fight you today, I have to be clean today. There are anti-inflammatories and painkillers that are considered doping but are not. I'm against steroids. Steroids are bad." Coming from a guy from Pride, right? Continuing. "But the fighter has a right to do anything he wants at a competition. That's his right. You can't get into his life and take his blood to see what he's doing. I'm against all types of drugs and steroids, but the athlete has a right to have a private life. He has to be clean on the day of the competition. Out of competition, that's his life," end quote. Excuse me. He also says he considers out of competition drug testing to be against the Constitution. Okay. Have you read the Constitution, sir? Because you need to. Anyway. There was there's a whole interview here that you can read. Go to MMAfighting.com. You can find that on there. But look, Wanderlei Silva's losing his fucking shit because look, he has been going on YouTube making videos, crazy videos about how, you know, just honestly none of the stuff he says makes any sense. But the Wanderlei Silva supporters, which hey, go for it. I'm a big fan of Wanderlei Silva. I love watching his fights in Pride. I go to the Fight Pass all the time and watch this shit from Pride. So, and some of his UFC fights. But you know, you're losing your damn mind, bro. You need to stop. Just stop, son. Stop. Eddie Law said stop. So anyway, at some point he's gonna have to just relax with this shit, and maybe I don't know. Why doesn't he try talking to the Nevada State Athletic Commission? Maybe, you know, find a way to get back into fighting if he's really that, you know, concerned. You know, I don't know how he makes money these days. It's really weird. He's still in the contract with the UFC, and obviously can't go to Bellator and do promotions for them because, believe you me, he would fucking do that in a heartbeat just to piss off Dana White. And apparently he did because they stopped him from doing it. All right. Let's talk about the last story here. Nate Diaz. And it might be a bigger story that he actually did an interview with Helwani on the MMA Hour. That's part one of the story. Part two of the story is what he said about his fight with Matt Brown, saying on the MMA Hour, saying, quote, "I was told the Brown fight," I believe it was on the MMA Hour. Yeah. I was told the Brown fight was talked about, but they were supposed to work out a deal and figure it all out and negotiate the fight the next Monday. Then all of a sudden, it's announced. I never necessarily okayed the fight. The fight was never negotiated. And then all of a sudden, I was getting blown up about the fight. That's in the cell phone, obviously. Continuing, "I think that's a great fight. Everybody will want to see that fight. I would if I was just a fight fan. That sounds like an awesome fight, like a fight you'd like to see. But it was never talked about, and it kind of feels like I'm being forced into a fight instead of talked to and dealt with fairly," end quote. Of course, you would expect this from a Diaz brother, but he's got a point. That's true, where they just announced it, trying to pressure him into taking the fight. It's fucked up. And it gives you a bit of an insight into the UFC, how UFC handles things, if it's true. If it's not true, and he's just trying to get the pedestal like he's been talking about on Twitter, it's kind of jacked. Look, Matt Brown against Nate Diaz is going to be a sick fight if it goes down. It's going to be a sick fight. A lot of people are saying Matt Brown's going to, you know, destroy him. Nope. You know, no. A healthy Nate Diaz with his boxing and his jiu-jitsu, Matt Brown will be messed up. He won't get beat the hell up, but I think Nate Diaz will submit him in the third round. I'm just saying right now. Hopefully that fight actually goes down. That's a great fight. Continuing here, Diaz says, quote, they just have the push power. They say I'm fighting and I'm fighting now. So I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't work. It don't work like that. Maybe with all these other guys out here, but I think you're going to fight. If you're going to fight somebody next Saturday, I'm not going to just say that you're going to fight somebody and assume you can show up. I'm probably going to call you and make sure you can show up, right? Talk about it. I haven't talked to anybody, but if it was dealt with properly and the circumstances were better, then I'm all aboard. That'd be a great fight, especially with a fighter like that, end quote. He's down. He's down for the fight. Just do it right. So UFC, don't fuck this up. Call up Mr. Diaz and his representation. Talk to him about the fight. Write up the contract right. And make sure the fans get this fight because this is a sick fight. And as we all know, a Diaz brother will always show up. He will not withdraw from the fight, as we know when he fought Rafael dos Anjos at, according to Nick, 40%. So hopefully we'd see that fight again. I'd be ecstatic if that fight actually goes down. All right, and let's get into the rant. So, and I apologize for such a short show. I'm actually just not feeling very well today, so I'm trying to just power through it. But let's talk about Mr. Don Frye. Don Frye came out and said that you know, he was talking about Ronda Rousey saying about, you know, what she was saying about fighting dudes. First of all, I don't know why people even talked about that. It's not even possible. It's not going to happen ever. Ronda Rousey will never fight a guy. That will never be allowed by any commission on the planet. Maybe Brazil. I'll give you that. Maybe Brazil. Maybe Russia. I highly doubt that. But I think Brazil would do it. Or if they haven't done it. Take it back. I think they've done it. Something with Edian Gomes. But I had to look that up to get details. But Ronda Rousey ain't never fight no dude. Come on now. So, you know, she started trolling back because the media just will not shut the fuck up about it at all. Geez, that's all they talk about is her fighting a guy because she's just so damn dominant. Well, Don Frye comes out and says that she needs to shut the hell up. Literally says shut the hell up until she fights. You know, apparently he's something about he doesn't want to hear about her Ronda fighting a dude until she fights Cyborg. First of all, why are you throwing Cyborg in there, dude? Are you saying she looks like a guy? Because she kind of looks like Wanderlei with a wig. I'm just saying, and tits. But no, Don Frye's calling out the wrong people. Don Frye needs to be calling out the media for bringing up, in the media overall, for bringing up the dumbest question ever. When are you going to fight a guy? Would you fight a guy? When it's not even possible. It's not going to happen. Let it go. Everybody does it. Everybody talks about it. Everybody. It's the dumbest question ever. Will you ever fight a guy? No, it's not going to happen. Let's just, first of all, the fact that it's just unfair shit. But second, I don't know. How about the fact that, you know, man beating the shit out of a woman or putting his hands on a woman is fucking wrong. All right. The NFL is on this huge commercial campaign to distance themselves from the Ray Rices of the world and the Greg Hardys of the world. If you guys know who that is, great. If you don't, you know, you can always Google. And which you should know who that is. That was a big story. But you know, MMA is not going to do that. And the media just keeps talking about it because we're so goddamn bored. It's like we have no news to talk about. How about talk about how Anderson Silva's postponed his Nevada State Athletic Commission hearing twice? Let's talk about that. How about we talk about some of these amateur fighters that are trying to make the jump to pro? Why? Because it's not juicy. Why? Because Ronda Rousey gets clicks and eyes. And I mean, look, it's like when, and look, I put it up too. On CrossBonesMMA.com, I put up articles with links to prelims and not prelims, but to like weigh-ins and stuff. But that's weigh-ins and everything, right? Sometimes websites and other places will put up stuff so you can as what's called clickbait, right? We try not to do that very much. If you go on our website, we don't have a lot of it. We'll put up the embedded videos and all that just to have a place to go. But you know, you can go to YouTube and find that shit all the time. But it's the advertising game. It's how you get paid, right? And just as a disclaimer, CrossBones does not get paid jack squat right now. We're too small for sure. If that ever happens, we'll just deal with it at that point. But we're not, you know, we try our best. We try our best not to clickbait. We really do. And what we try to do is support good people. For example, I always shout out Stand and Bang Radio. Those guys do awesome work. Again, Stand and Bang Radio, MMA.com, baller site. And they have you know what? I'll say it. They have probably the best show out there. Yeah, I mean, the best show out there while avoiding the, what do they call it? The conflict of interest that for example, some people do, calling themselves journalists while working for the biggest promotion in the sport, right? That's not journalism, that's promotion. All right, there's a big difference. But and even then, they don't claim that Stand-Up Radio doesn't claim to be a journalism show, but they have an awesome product. So definitely go check them out. But going back to what I was saying, it's the reason people keep bringing this question of Ronda Rousey fighting a gas, because they need clicks, they need attention, they need ratings. It's all about advertising. So Don Fry, if you want to call somebody out, call out MMA Media. I'm right there with you, dude. I'm right there with you. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up about this shit. It's irritating as fuck, and we're done with it. We really are. I'm sure Ronda Rousey was done with it. In fact, her bringing it up, and I think 2 weeks ago, she said that it was possible, that it could happen, was her trolling everybody, because she's tired of the fucking question. So let's just move away from the question and move on to something else, MMA Media. So it seems like I'm calling the MMA Media out every week. And also, you got to think of it this way: the fact that it's such a young or a new thing. The sport's still pretty damn young. The MMA media is still pretty damn young. It seems like the biggest names in the MMA media aren't necessarily the best, but they're the ones that were there first. It's just kind of what happens in every industry. Sometimes you'll see someone on TV as a sportscaster, as an anchor or something that blows, but they were there first. That's just kind of how it works. It's not what you know or how good you are, it's who you know. So sooner or later, talent actually rises, and good journalists and good, everything moves up to the top. But in a young industry like the MMA media is right now, it's just kind of what happens. So, and I'm not even saying I'm the best. I'm clearly not. However, there are people that are better than some of the guys that are up there that are known as the voices of MMA, which is bullshit. At least that's what I heard today. Somebody called this douchebag the voice of MMA. So, yeah, it's some horse shit. So that's my rant. I clearly got more energy when I get mad from on the rant shit. So, all right, that's gonna do it for Bad Decisions tonight. Thanks for joining me for tonight's episode. Remember that Bad Decisions is on every Monday night now instead of Sundays. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Elon31. Also, the website is at CrossBonesMMA. Like the fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/CrossBonesMMA. Also, a big shout out to a friend of the website is the guys over at FightBookMMA.com. Check the site out. Intro music on the iTunes version and the iTunes Stitcher SoundCloud version of this is by T. Fowler. Speaking of the shows, all of the shows on CrossBonesMMA Radio Network are available on SoundCloud for free, iTunes for free, Stitcher for free. So subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please leave us a rating and a comment of what you think of the show, whether it's good, it's bad, whatever you want to say, just say it and give us a rating on there so we know. It's basically what's gonna gauge what you think the show needs, what it could use, what needs to be removed, and all that shit. So we care about your input for the most part, unless you're a troll. Fuck you if you're a troll. Just saying. We also, you can download all the shows, which is 5 Rounds with John Eddie, Bad Decisions with me. Keyboard Wars will go down tomorrow night. That one's always fun with the guys from Stand-Up Radio, Mr. Fred Kirby and Aaron Robbins. They'll be on here with Keyboard Warriors, which is it might be the most fun show that I have that we have on the website. But tune in and be the judge. And also, we have a brand new show hosted by our very own Nick Pilecki called That Just Happened, in which he watches past MMA events, brings a guest on, and then talks about the fights on that particular card and how they help shape where MMA is today. I think the last episode we did was last Thursday. I think we're doing one again this Thursday. But last Thursday we talked about the tough finale, the first one with Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner, Ken Shamrock, Rich Franklin, Diego Sanchez, and that's where I go blank. Anyway, you know I'm talking about the tough finale one. I was a guest on there. Myself and Mr. Nick Pilecki talked about it, and it was actually ended up being a pretty good show. So make sure you tune in this Thursday for another episode of that. I believe it should go down. Keep on Twitter for those details. We'll have more shows coming soon. Working on a couple more shows. It's gonna kill my time, but whatever. I don't care. I love doing this shit. Even if it's for free, I would do it all day for free, no problem. If I had enough money to support everything we do here without having to work. So that's the dream, isn't it? To not have to work ever and be able to do everything you want. So fight for the dream, people. All right, come back next week for another episode of Bad Decisions with Eddie Law. For all of us at CrossBonesMMA.com and CrossBonesMMA Radio, I am Eddie Law saying see you next week. And we're one day closer to death, so make today count.